Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video and welcome to the lovely countryside of Bedford. That's right, I am down south this weekend for a wedding. We were actually out for a few drinks last night, had a really good time. The wedding's tomorrow. I've actually left my parents and the missus having a bite to eat in the pub. But I thought I'd come out and talk to you guys, get a bit of fresh air, talk to you guys about, for me, Newcastle United taking a pretty big step in the right direction too, as has been talked about for, well, ever since the takeover, finally redeveloping, expanding, extending St James's Park. I think we have brought in the man who will be overseeing and quite possibly spearheading the development of our football stadium. We have brought in, as of yesterday, announced by Newcastle United, a COO, a Chief Operations Officer, Bradley Miller. We'll talk a little bit about, what he's expected to do in the immediate term. But look, Newcastle haven't come out and gone, here's the guy who's going to redevelop our stadium. They've kept it a lot more under the radar, a lot less obvious. But if you go through his kind of track record and what he's done in previous roles, I think it's very much pointing at the fact that I think this guy could well be a big part of what happens next with St James's Park. You might be asking, what's the difference between him and Darren Eales? Because he is the COO, Darren Eales is the CEO, Chief Executive Officer. I think he will quite possibly report directly into Darren Eales. I think he will quite possibly take some work off Darren Eales. You've got to think, Amanda Staveley, slowly letting go of shares. I think Amanda Staveley's been fantastic, and I think she will continue to always be part of Newcastle United. She's been a great face of the club. She has been so open and honest with the fans, with a great relationship with the fans. But generally speaking, I think Amanda's job was to kind of bring everybody together and then kind of let them get on with it. I think Amanda Staveley, look at Murdad playing football manager for the first 6 months, just buying players for a laugh. I think slowly but surely they are bringing people in underneath them. We're looking for a director of football, we've brought in a COO. I think we're going to slowly but surely bring in, as they say, the best of the best to come in and run this football club. And I think as Amanda Staveley is part of the club, but probably is not coming in and making the teas and coffees anymore. Murdad's not playing football manager anymore. Darren Eales will probably take more work higher up, and then we're going to slowly bring more people in to kind of take some stuff from Darren Eales as well. But one of the taglines is that Bradley Miller, the new COO, will be leading the club's capital investment strategy, which is very interesting. Capital investment strategy, the way I'm seeing it, is basically going out buying property for a long term to make money over time. And there's a few different ways you can look at this, because one of the ways, interestingly enough, the likes of Chelsea, who have said they're not doing it, despite the fact that they've bought all of these players, surely they've got to sell some. Well, the Chelsea owner is coming out and saying, no, don't. We've got other things we can sell. We can do other things. Reports are that people are taking a little bit of a sniff around the Chelsea training ground, which I've no doubt, if it's in the middle of Chelsea, will be worth an absolute fortune to a builder who wants to come and build loads of houses on it. Is that a strategy Newcastle can start to look down in this whole crazy FFP world? Is Bradley Miller, who, as I say, as said by iNews, a property guru, is he going to go out and start buying a few bits and bobs here and there and potentially holding them and selling them and starting to try and make the club some money that way that we can feed into transfers? It's crazy the lengths that we're having to go to now, despite the fact that we have the richest owners in the world, billionaire owners. We're having to go out and buy property and all sorts to just try and keep us above that crazy dotted line. Or you can look at it in another direction as well. Property guru, are we looking for a new location for the likes of a training ground as well? Because although it has been quite well documented that Newcastle have gone in and spent a whole load of money on the current training ground, I still think they will have their eyes on that kind of all singing, all dancing training ground, men's team, academy, women's team, mini stadium for friendly games at all ages that everyone, how class would that be? Maybe even commercial aspects of it as well, getting the naming rights to a training ground, having 7-a-side pitches that get the foundation there, possibly, that we could go and rent and have a game of 7 aside. The possibilities are endless, but not in the current location. There is not the space for it. So although they've spent loads of money, I have no doubt that going out, finding a good location to do the training ground, spending money to do it up, I think that is definitely on the list. And as I've said, Bradley Miller, this new COO, has very much the track record to go out and do that. You think about obviously we're building the stack at the minute. There's talks about the club shop. The club shop is pretty big, but I would not be surprised if they look to make that bigger. Is there a way they can maybe use the land where the temporary one is at the minute to actually build a massive permanent club shop? Like, I don't see that outside the realms of possibility, and they need someone in the know. As I said by the iNews, a property guru, and also someone who was very experienced in these worlds of development. Now, as I mentioned, he's got a great track record for it. He was actually the man who oversee the £1.3 billion transformation of the Manchester Airport Terminal 2. So that guy has gone ahead and been in charge of a £1 billion project already. I can see exactly why they have interest in this guy, and we know for a fact that Newcastle have been talking about the redevelopment, redo, or what are they doing with St James's Park? What we are waiting for is to hear back exactly on what has happened with the feasibility study. Newcastle and Darren Eales came out as much and said that we are very much looking into what we can do with St James's Park next. There was a lot of conversation as, could we move somewhere else? What are we going to do? Well, having a man come in who's, off the back of a £1 billion transformation, I have the feeling that the Newcastle owners could well step up and put some big money into this. Big yes. The chairman was actually in the Northeast not too long ago having a meeting with the senior members of the Newcastle staff to discuss next steps and what exactly are we going to do. Now, it's thought that, I guess, phase 1 of the feasibility study has been done, and that we do have some results and thoughts. Obviously, there was talk about crazy glass structures over the East Stand and all of these different ideas of what we can do. It's thought that the study is still ongoing, and I think it probably will continue to ongo for some time as they continuously try to feed in more feedback of what is possible. But having a man on the ground who can actually take that information and use it, do something with it, is very used to this kind of project, is huge. So as I've said, he's coming in. I would imagine will be, as I say, operations. I mean, operations can be a whole load of different stuff. And I think in Newcastle, we are still, we keep bringing more people in. I think we are still a small team. You look at the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, have 100+ people in the commercial department alone. I know obviously Peter Silverstone and a few other guys have come in, but I still think we will continue to grow. We will continue to add. And he's another highly experienced person in one of the senior roles at Newcastle, and will probably have his finger in a tons of different pies, trying to get a feel and get used to what's going on with the day-to-day. But it's that next step. I think the property stuff's really interesting to see what happens with that, and the rules are changing all the time, so God knows what's going to happen next. But the idea of trying to make money through different realms, I guess, aside from football, what we can do with the training ground to potentially buy something to really hike that up to the next level. And then obviously what happens with St James's Park. So yes, COO, yeah, seen it, yeah, new staff member, all good. When you actually look into it and the possibilities, and as I've said, it's not too big a jump to connect the two dots there. So we will have to wait and see and hear what he has to say, hopefully very, very soon. Let me know your thoughts on all of that down below. You know what it is, I came out to talk about the stadium. I have done, but that's the training ground, actually, that's actually caught my attention more in this video. So you let me know your thoughts down below on the training ground, the new COO. What do you think he's going to do? Is he the man to take us to that next level? You let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, guys. As always, enjoy your weekend. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you're still watching now, you haven't subscribed with this lovely, lovely green background today. Do it. I hit 46,000 subscribers the other day, which is massive. Would love to get 50. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, subscribe. It's free. It costs nothing. Thank you to my members and patrons for supporting this channel. It's thanks to you guys that I'm able to continue running the free content that you guys watch. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.